Yo, Talk That Talk podcast. We are back. Episode
Yes, sir.
Six.
Yes,
six.
Episode 6, bro.
Technically 4, but we just going with the.
It's
Yeah.
good. You know.
It is what it is. Welcome back to another episode.
I'm not gonna lie.
Honestly, bro, this is Justin's idea for this music shit.
Hey, I'm actually.
Ooh!
Let's say one thing that I know about Fads, bro, is I've never seen you do it, but I know for sure you cannot dance
At all.
I feel like
I
you
can't
have
dance.
no
I can't
rhythm.
sing.
I feel like you have no rhythm, but it is what it is.
Damn, you doubting my man's
That's
fast?
so crazy, bro.
He from New York, B. Really hit that shit, yo.
I'm not.
You really look like you're from New York. Are you from New York?
No, absolutely not.
Look
I
like-
get a lot.
You guys look
No,
like.
he's from Cali.
Yeah.
You were born in Cali, but you moved out here.
Yes.
You've been out here most of your
I
life.
like how you remember information.
Yeah, I do.
You know
bro.
what we look
I
like?
store everything in the cloud. This is the cloud.
You know what all three of us look like?
What?
Speaking of New York, we look like if you took French Montana and just separated each of his jeans. Alright. You got the beard.
No, we're gonna go
I got
back.
the hairline.
Listen,
and then you
we're not
just
skipping
got the.
this episode. I am on Fad's ass. Okay?
Okay.
I'm gonna tell you that right now. So speaking of the no dancing,
Wait.
you know one individual that I think can dance.
Who?
Mr. Matt Rosa, give it up for Mr. Matt Rosa joining the podcast with us today. That's why I'm in
Yes,
this
sir.
seat.
We got the special guest.
ahead,
We told you it was gonna come
comfortable.
with the special guest. We got the special guest here.
We have.
I don't know how to
Mr.
dance.
Matt Rosa.
We have a
Mr.
millionaire.
We multi-millionaire mogul.
He doesn't like that. He doesn't like that.
You know, this is our podcast, Matt, so we're going to introduce you. He is
Fucking rich, yo.
multi-millionaire.
He's very
We
wealthy.
get to introduce you how we want.
He
I'm
does
just
not.
here with my friends.
But I like that you come in humble. I like that you come in not, like, how would I say it? Just, I'm a multi-millionaire.
You come in
Everybody
very-
works for my rules. You're a humble guy. And
Relaxed.
this is actually my first day meeting. This is actually my first hour meeting Matt.
It's a pleasure to meet you,
It's a
bro.
pleasure, man. It's a pleasure. So that's why we're sitting in the camera together. Them dweebs over there can stay in their little camera angle, but
Well, for what it's worth, I'm grateful that I'm sitting next to Reese right now.
my
But
God.
yeah.
for what it's worth, I try to come in, I try to pick my seat. Apparently, there's this weird thing with seats, and I didn't get the seat that I wanted. But
You
it's
still
okay.
got a comfortable
I
seat.
only
Got-
traveled across the country to be here with you guys.
That's
But
crazy.
it's,
We appreciate you for coming fresh
So
off the
basically,
Fresh off the flight.
he wanted Cook seat.
No,
but Cook wouldn't.
Because the energy.
Originally,
the energy.
he wanted your seat.
No, he didn't want it. He just wanted to irritate me because he was like, you know what? I don't even want Cook.
He just likes picking on us.
Originally, he wanted Fad's
It's not
seat.
nice.
And then
This is my spot.
he realized Fads is wearing the same jeans he wore in the first episode. So
Fuck.
Oh, so this is really all your ass. So this is how you want to get him?
hey,
Those are jeans that you can wear over and over.
It's okay.
those are jeans that people will know if you wear them over and over. 'Cause they got a bunch of. I get it. They're
But at
expensive.
the end of the day, it's like, okay, if you notice things, I notice things too. Is that what you want to do?
You know,
Because
I got
you
shoes,
wore those
glasses.
shoes.
3 episodes.
3 episodes? Fuck no. I'm
Okay,
only-
two.
Okay, maybe. But it's a difference between shoes and you don't.
Why? Pants? You
I
wear
feel like
pants
you
all the time.
haven't washed
Matt-
those jeans since
Matt
you
and
wore 'em.
Fads are
I get my-
have
They got
the
a little-
same shoes on.
no,
But those are
Fads-
heat. You can do that.
Fads has the same shoes as me.
Okay. Here we go.
Actually,
It's we don't
no,
have the same
don't do
shoes.
that because
That's my son.
I put them on first.
no, that's my pictures
put,
or it didn't
I
happen.
put them on first. You literally see me walk in with them, and then you're like, and then you put them on. I'm just like, Matt, we got the same shoes on. He's like,
Wow, why you have the crazy
Don't
thing
ever
is
do
you
that
have your
face again.
podcast voice on right now. like oh, we have the same shoes and that's
Oh.
not you're my child, you're my son.
what?
Okay.
This is my grandson.
Enough of the funny talk. Let's get into, I guess, for all the viewers out there that don't know who Matt Rosa is. Obviously, we know who you are. We're a little bit more educated, but kind of give us a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Be fun with it. Give us a backstory about who you are, where you come from, and how you got to the point. I guess we'll get into that, but
Well,
who you are.
Can we before we get into that? I just want to say one thing. The giveaway.
Oh,
Can we get into that
for
Oh,
sure.
yeah.
real quick?
Before we
go ahead.
forget.
Go ahead.
Okay.
$100 giveaway. We are doing a $100 giveaway. This is our episode 6. So we decided, you know what I'm saying, for all the love and support that we keep getting and we are receiving consistently from you guys, we decided to give back. So we are doing a $100 giveaway. All you got to do is comment down on this video below and go ahead, follow all our socials at Talk That Talk Clips and our personals at JCook2Jiggy, Big Faz, and at It's Young Reese. No, it's at Young Reese.
I got
at
my
It's Young
actual.
Reese.
I got my actual at now. Instagram hooked it up. You know what I'm saying? So
Okay.
Young Reese.
And yeah, make sure you follow Matt Rosa on Instagram. We'll have everybody's links in the description, and we will be contacting the winner through DM.
Yeah.
So that'll be dope. But yeah, back to it.
Backstory, where you come from, how you got to where you're at right now, and kind of start with the backstory. Start with the backstory because I feel like
I was
feel
so
like the
interested
people
when you
viewing-
told me, because I honestly remember you telling me.
Guys, I have not done any of my, and this is me being completely blunt. The only thing that I've heard about Matt is the shit that I've heard from Fads and Justice. I have not done my research.
I like that though.
And so this is all gonna, like, literally, I'm a viewer just like y'all, so I get to learn a lot about Matt today too.
I like that. I prefer that. Well, first and foremost, thank you guys, man.
Yes, sir.
It's really cool that we had the opportunity to be able to do this, and I'm out here for a speaking engagement. We got about 3,000 people inside of a stadium out here in Arizona. Fads is literally my little brother. Like, this is my family.
Facts.
As much as I pick on him. That's literally my family. And he had hit me up and he said, yo, what are the chances that we could get something like this popping? And immediately, you know, I've had the opportunity to rub shoulders with Cook. We've had grand times. We've enjoyed ourselves.
Had some fun
in
times.
multiple states.
Countries.
Yeah, multiple countries. Yeah, that's facts. That's facts. So the moment that you hit me up, yeah, I'm coming over here. I have a newborn baby. I'm on no sleep.
Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you. I appreciate
Congratulations.
that. I appreciate
We'll
that.
touch on how the fatherhood is, but
Incredible, but we will. And I came over here no sleep, right off of the plane, jumped right into this podcast, and here we are. And it's honestly an honor to be here with you guys. I love what it is that you guys have done collectively for this podcast.
Appreciate you.
I love where it is that it's going.
Oh yeah.
And
Appreciate
more so, I love the individuals that are inside of this room right now. It's an honor to be here, and I'm grateful to be here. But yeah, Matt Rosa. I'm 30 years old. I am a follower of Christ.
Damn, you hit the 30s.
Yeah, third floor.
See, he gets to pick on
I always
someone
get
that's
on
older than him because I always pick on him for being old.
That's
So
big brother, you know?
Third floor.
Third floor.
But yeah, I'm a follower of Christ. I am a new father. I am a leader. I'm a man of ethics. I'm a man of ethos. I'm a man of integrity. And I come from a rough background. You know, I come from a background where there were no entrepreneurs in my family, at least legally. I come from a background as to where I was supposed to be a product of my environment, if I'm being honest. I was supposed to be somebody that was supposed to be a statistic. And here I am, an example. Back in 2012, I found entrepreneurship through network marketing. And at this point, I had slept on friends' couches. I slept inside of my fiance at the time. Now we're married. But I slept inside of her car. I dropped out of school when I was 16 years old. I wasn't supposed to be an entrepreneur. So when I came into this space and I started talking the entrepreneur talk, you know, a lot of us fake it till we make it.
Yeah.
And I started,
You're definitely good at talking, for sure.
I fell into this space where a lot of people didn't take me serious. Because I was out there drinking 8 days a week. I was out there living for tomorrow. And then out of nowhere, I'm somebody that is bringing hope and passion and opportunity to somebody. But I had nothing to show for myself. And I just had a vision. I had a mission. I had, at the end of the day, something that nobody could take from me, and that was a burning desire. Mm-hmm. And I wish I could tell you that the first 3 years of my career were just insane, and I experienced these crazy breakthroughs and some Wolf of Wall Street mentality, but it wasn't that. I struggled, man. I was working 2 jobs the entire time I was trying to build my business. I was hustling on the side the same way my family had done in the past. And that's what I knew, but I had this vision. I said, it's only temporary. It's only temporary. It's only temporary. And that was my mindset throughout the entire process.
Staying positive.
Yeah, it wasn't even positive, bro. People thought I was insane. It was more than positivity, bro. It was this undenying just confidence and undenying belief in what it was that I was going to accomplish because I needed to for me and my family.
Yeah.
About 3 years in, I got to meet my mentor. Shout out to Chris Terry.
Shout out Chris Terry. I never met him, but he seems cool.
He's
Yeah,
dope.
shout out Chris Terry, man.
Sound like a goat.
He's
sound like a
old
goat.
too. Nah, he's old,
Yeah,
but he's nice.
wise,
He's cool.
bro. And this was a man that had 20 years of trading experience, and he jumped on the phone with me, who had nothing to offer him. No money, no following. I didn't have a blue check at the time. I didn't have this crazy background or anything, and he just breathed life into me. Since then, we've developed a business with over 100,000 people in 40 different countries. My business partner and I, we've helped create insane amounts of success stories all around the world. And I
One in this
genuinely
room?
believe, yeah, one
Yeah,
fat
Literally
one.
right here.
And
Two grown.
I genuinely believe that we're just getting started. And my whole story, man, to sum it up in the quickest way that I can, is I'm favored. And I've been given this gift, and I'm not taking it for granted. I'm taking advantage of it, and literally we're just getting started. So my story, I hope that if you're seeing this right now, you're going to understand that we're just getting started, and I hope you follow that, and we could have that conversation later. But
Yeah.
you know, that's my story in a nutshell, man. I'm in love with my daughter that I just had. I'm in love with my wife. I'm in love with business. I'm in love with leading, and I'm in love with God's doing inside of my life.
Speaking of
That's-
God,
that's-
yeah, like DJ Khaled said,
God did.
God
They ain't believe in us.
did.
They ain't believe in us.
So you're from New York, right?
Yeah,
A lot of
originally
people.
from Brooklyn.
You didn't mention that, but I knew
we don't say New York. We say Brooklyn.
Brooklyn. Yo, what am I?
There
I'm
you
from
go.
Brooklyn, yo.
From Brooklyn.
From Brooklyn,
From the
dude.
Bronx. So growing up in the Bronx, I know we didn't want to make this like an interview, so we want to relate. I feel like all of us can kind of relate to each other in some way, somehow or another. Growing up in the Bronx, obviously, like you touched on, you weren't in the best environment, didn't come from money, and you kind of made something happen out of nothing. And I feel like a lot of our viewers definitely talk about that or reach out to us and let us know, like, hey, like, going through this hard time, like, how do you guys keep going? And as individuals that have came from nothing and been able to create something out of nothing, what kind of advice would you give to those people out there that are trying to figure out that route? You know, you said it took you 3 years to go through the trials and tribulations of everything. What's some advice? I know people a lot of times they comment that you could give the younger you that would give you a head or a step ahead of the game back then.
Yeah, man. I think that's a podcast on its own.
Yeah.
like literally, because there's probably so much you could say.
Bro, obviously, and I love the young entrepreneur watching this right now. I love the young business-minded woman or man that is watching this right now, and they have this urge and this desire to do something different for their families. I love that. And I wish I had a source like this where I could tune in and just say, all right, cool, let me learn from their mistakes. And 3 things immediately come to mind. Honestly, 3 things immediately come to mind. First and foremost, don't take nothing personal. Don't take nothing personal.
I feel that.
Yeah.
I feel that.
I like that.
Man, hey,
There's a lot of
3
people,
years ago, man, I was taking everything personal.
You
Oh,
can
that's how you feel.
That's
Oh, that's how you feel. All right.
That's a lot of I feel like as an individual that's trying, that believes in themselves so much, you're not wrong for that. But I feel like that's the sense of feeling entitled,
Right.
you know what I'm saying, to a lot of people's opinions, and feeling like people need to show you that respect or need to believe in you the way you believe in yourself. And I heard something actually today, shout out Tim Wright. I don't know if you guys seen Tim's little reel.
That's my boy.
He said, and I liked it, and shout out Tim, I fuck with Tim.
That's my boy.
He said, God gave you your vision for you,
I saw that.
not for everybody else.
I saw that.
And he made it obviously make more sense, but like you said, yeah, feeling entitled. I feel like that's something that you have to get over as an individual that's trying to grow in this world of, especially entrepreneurship, trying to show people that you have a vision and it's gonna happen, but you don't necessarily deserve their respect yet. You have to earn that.
When I say don't take anything personal, I think a lot of people are going to think of it the same way you explained it, the forefront, before the transaction happens, before the success happens, before all that. But what happens when you're successful? You got people on this podcast right now that are viewing this as successful individuals, whether they're successful plumbers, or whether they're successful construction workers, or whether they're successful teachers, or successful in whatever endeavor that they're in. And what happens when you're going and you're giving everything you got and you have the results? What happens after that? I think that for me, in success, with my relationships, in my marriage, in my friendships, and things along those lines, when you're a leader is an individual that has the ability to take someone somewhere that they had no intention of going. That to me is the definition of a leader, right? Somebody that has the ability to do something first and pave a way for other individuals to be able to follow. When I look at that as a leader, you're doing, that's literally what it is. Think about the game that we were playing as kids, follow the leader. We went behind somebody that knew they were going somewhere, and we followed that individual. And that's just the way it was. But when you hit that level of success and you've gone ahead and you've put all that work in and you have the results, there's going to be a lot of betrayal. There's going to be a lot of individuals that you once believed in that no longer believe in you.
Is that animosity or?
Immense amount of animosity, immense amount of doubt, immense amount of judgment. And when you hit that point, a lot of individuals will completely just self-demolish themselves because of the fact that there's external problems going on right now. I had to come to the realization that this isn't me, and this isn't a reflection of who it is that I am, or this isn't the way it is that I deal with issues. I'm dealing with this issue because of the fact that they're dealing with this issue. It's not on me, and not everything falls on me. And as a leader, I had to learn not to take things personally. About a year ago, me and Fads always joke about, Mercury's in retrograde.
Oh, man.
About a year ago, bro, Mercury was in retrograde, and bro, I'm sitting there, I'll never forget this. I'm on a beautiful yacht cruising through Miami crying.
I was right there.
Crying.
I was right there. It was in Miami.
He was just crying out of nowhere?
Bro,
everything.
Because retrograde is supposed to, for people that don't know, it's supposed to affect your emotional
bro, it affects everything in your life.
True, that way.
And don't get me wrong, it wasn't finances. It was business was going phenomenal. It was like, what could you possibly be sad about right there? And we would look at each other and be like.
And for me, bro, the biggest thing was I was upset and I was sad about other people when I had the world to be happy about. And so often we magnify things that have nothing to do with us. And they're not who it is that we are, and they're not a reflection of us, and I have to learn not to take things personal. So that's number one to answer your question. Number two is enjoy the process. As Faz would say, TTP. Trust the process.
Trust
Trust
the process. See, that's the first time I stuttered on this, Reese.
Hey, I gotta interrupt you for a second, because there are those, and I'm gonna give kudos to you, because there are those people that, you're in a room full of multi-millionaires. You go to the biggest meeting in the world, and 95% of the people in there, their net worth is over $10 million, whatever, and you go in there automatically admiring everybody in the room because you go into a meeting thinking, damn, I heard that there's 95% multimillionaires in this room. But then you hear someone go up there and you're like, you can hear it in their voice and how they speak. Like, okay, this individual just got lucky with the money that he made. Bro, and so I can honestly say, is
I don't think
the way I can hear
either.
you speak is I can say I feel like you've earned it. Because before 2 years ago, we can go back. 2 years ago, Reese would come in this room and be like, he's full of shit. But but I'm saying the past 2 years, I've been able to, changed as a man, because I don't know if you know, but me and Raylene, we're like 2.5 years now, and I'm not the girl's blood father, but I've been raising them for 2.5 years. And so 2.5 years ago, Reese would be a selfish motherfucker that does not give a fuck about nobody else. And I've got to be around other people and just look at different aspects of life, and just the girls, you'd be like blown away by how your daughter is going to change your life. Like,
she already is.
Yeah.
She already is.
The older they get and like how they learn, and you see how you affect them, and you wanting to be such a good role model will eventually help yourself become a better man. And so I can honestly say that, like I said, 2 years ago, I'd be like, he's just speaking a bunch of bullshit, but I really get what you're saying. I admire you. And
thank you.
Yeah, for sure.
And say one thing real quick. I don't think you guys understand. This is like, you know how like he was like, oh, this is like Fad's my little bro. Like this is like truly like, it ain't no like, oh, that's little bro. That's like my mentor. That's like my big bro type. You know, and you know, I've been through the darkest, you know, times in my life, man. I'm talking about like, you don't even understand. Not even about financial problems or anything like that. And sometimes it might be about financial problems. And he's gotten me out of every situation. Not with like money, giving me money or anything like that, with words, bro. And just knowledge. And I'm like, damn, bro, like I just never thought of it like that. You feel what I'm saying? So like when, you know, I feel like everyone deserves a mentor in their life. And, you know, if you, and honestly, like, if you feel like, damn, well, I want a mentor, you have to be ready to receive mentorship. You feel me? You can't just be like, oh, well, okay, I see Faz as a mentor, I want a mentor too. Nah, you gotta be ready to like, bro, do you know how many times, bro, I get bitched by him, like, on some like, yo, bro, like, you need to tighten up. Like,
I just hold you to a different standard.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But I accept it because I'm like, damn, bro, like, you are right. I should.
But when you are looking for a mentor, you don't just go out like, oh, I see his Instagram and I see that he has a bunch of money. I want him to be my mentor. You gotta actually, I don't have a mentor, and I feel like you have to really connect with that person. Mm-hmm. And it's not just so, oh, he has a lot of money, he has a bunch of cars, he has a nice house, he looks like he's living life. You gotta actually look up to that person, not just for the materialistic things that they have.
Also, the mentor has to look up to you in essence.
Yep.
That's so important. There's a lot of things that I look up to Faz in. And I look at him and I'm like, yo, this is somebody that I could raise in my right principles, and I could instill certain things in him because I see the way he moves and I admire that. So for me, I look at that and I'm like, yo, I chose him as my mentee for a reason. You know, with an organization of 100,000 people, it's very, very, very exclusive when it comes to mentorship. And with him, it's different. And to go back to the second part, we gotta trust the process, because a lot of the times, as we're building our vision, whether, you know, I'm a musician. I play music. You guys can check me out on Spotify. I'm also a father. I'm a public speaker. I'm an entrepreneur. I have all these hats that I wear on a day-to-day basis, and each journey is very different from the next. And I understand that my success in one realm does not determine my success in another realm. Just because I'm a world-renowned mentor inside of the educational space, inside of network marketing, does not mean that I'm going to be the greatest musician or I'm going to be the greatest father.
I feel that.
So I have to look at every piece completely different, bro.
Find your strong.
When I say trust the process, you got to understand that we are blessed, all of us, with sight, or at least the vast majority of us. And sight is what it is that you can see with your eyes open. Now, the vision is what it is that you can see with your eyes closed. Jeez. And there's very seldom that certain people have that vision, and that's where trust in the process comes in. And the third piece that I would say is be careful who you vent to. Be careful who you tell your problems to. You know, Cook, you asked me, you said, if there's a piece of advice that you could give your newest aspiring entrepreneur, that means they're chasing a dream. Entrepreneurship is a great way to say they're not where they want to be yet. But they have aspirations and desires of getting there. And they have a plan and they're working that plan. Naturally with that comes an immense amount of frustration. Think about it. Each of you have chased a dream. Think about how much bullshit comes from that. You're rocking in your music, bro. It's not easy for you to step into a room with somebody like French.
Yeah.
You know, you're rocking YouTube. I was just talking. Cook, shout out to me. I got 10K on YouTube.
I was like, shout out.
He was like, Matt Rosa got 10K on YouTube. I said, bro, that took me 3 years. Like, what you're doing is just so inspirational and so like out of this world. What you've done inside of that space and what you've done inside of the entrepreneurial space inside of our company, Fads, you've broken records. You've become that dude inside of the industry.
That dude.
But think about it. Think about how much bullshit we had to go through. Think about how many trials and tribulations. Naturally, we want to vent. And we always vent to the people that we love because we know their intention is not wrong. But here's the thing. As Tim said, God gave you your vision, not for the other person to see. So here's what happens. A lot of the times, they may not have the wrong intention, but their trials and tribulations, their trauma, I think is the most important thing that we say here, becomes your treason. When you talk about treason, that means that you went against your government, or you went against your morals, or you went, not even morals, but you went against an organization and the ethics that that organization has, and you gave up somebody. You're AKA a snitch. You're treason. Right? And when you think about treason, if their trauma becomes your treason, what I mean by that is, as you speak to another individual, they're naturally going to talk about what they're going through.
Yeah.
They're naturally going to talk about the things that they've been through. They're going to talk about their struggles, their triumphs. They're not listening to respond according to you, but they're talking about the things that they can relate. The moment they start doing that, my trauma may not be your trauma. But the moment I go ahead and I have a conversation with you and you start telling me about your traumas, that becomes my trauma. Once that becomes my trauma, that becomes my treason. I start allowing doubt to seep in. I start acting out of character. I start doubting my potential and what it is that I want to accomplish inside of my life. And then next thing I know, I'm not good enough. And I don't have the vision anymore. And I'm not strong enough. And these things are... The messed up thing is, 9 times out of 10 entrepreneurial endeavors don't work is not because of you, but because of your internal group, who it is that you work with, who it is that you surround yourself with, your environment.
Yeah.
So you got to be careful who you vent to. You got to be careful who you express your frustrations to. That really messed me up for years. Like, I'm sitting there and like I'm talking to people and they mean the best. But they're talking, like, I can't talk to my parents about marriage.
Yeah.
They don't have a successful marriage. I can't talk to my parents about, or my sister or my family about business because they don't have a successful business.
Yeah.
But I'm looking for the answers from them because I love them. Their trauma becomes your treason.
That makes sense.
I think that's one of the biggest things.
I think, even with that, like, okay, let's just, for you two, imagine you going up to one of your homies and talking about your YouTube problems, expecting an answer from them, like, but they don't know what you, like, they don't know what you go through, like, they don't have, which is, like, so
and
it's
you've been
hard.
honest on your YouTube.
Even your own lane.
Yeah,
You've been so real on your YouTube, bro. Like, you speak about everything.
To the point where people literally, I swear to God, people will come up to me and they will literally be like, wow, oh bro, that's crazy. Like, was it staged? Like that whole little thing. Some of the stuff,
Of course.
you know what I'm saying? We got to keep interesting. We got to keep being entertainers as we are.
One thing I know about you, Cook, is this. You and I have had the opportunity to meet each other. I heard your story without cameras. That's the real.
Yeah.
I've seen the way it is that you carry yourself in front of cameras. They're very congruent, bro.
Yeah.
You're honest with your following.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's little skits and things along those lines. That's YouTube and that's social media and that's what it is.
Yeah.
But when you get real and you open up, that's something a lot of people don't have, bro.
Exactly.
A lot of people don't have that.
I feel like, touching on what you were saying when it comes down to trying to, like, both of you, when you were talking about your trauma becomes their trauma becomes your treatment. A lot of my friends, that I used to my circle, and this was something that I wanted to kind of get your opinion on, but also just discuss, is your circle. And I feel like a lot of people watching, when you're trying to figure out, when you're taking that next leap in life and you're trying to figure out what it is that you want to do and what you want to accomplish, and you kind of lock in and get serious, you start to question your circle. And for some reason, I found every single entrepreneur, every single person that's taking that next step in life always ends up talking about the people around me. They're having problems with every single. We just had this conversation where I was saying, I had to cut out 99.9% of my circle because of the fact that I would go to them and I would ask them for advice, or not even advice. I would just talk about stuff. I would just vent, and I would find myself feeling their animosity so much that I started to question myself. And I would start to be like, damn, like, am I selfish? Am I sitting here like really just worried about myself? Am I doing it right? Are they right? Am I wrong? And I feel like a lot of times, like you were saying, when it comes down to, you don't have a mentor, you need a mentor. You have to have a mentor. When I started getting around Matt, I remember, and you probably remember, when he brought me, when I got around Fats to me is a mentor. Even though we're the same damn near age, I look at him as a mentor, which he looks at you as a mentor. And I remember just being around both of you for the first time, and also a couple other people in Cancun and Tulum. I felt so like motivated after that, bro. And I was just like, it was crazy because
your energy was insane, bro.
It was insane, but the thing that sucked was I wasn't in the right mental space.
Right.
I didn't understand. I had no.
You gotta be
the information I was learning,
you gotta be
and the buzz that I was feeling, that energy I was feeling. There was no substance for me to do anything with it.
Yep.
Now, you know what I'm saying, it has reflected on me a year and a half, 2 years later. But having mentors around you and really switching up your circle, what I would say to those people out there that are watching is, for a minute, I was so scared to like distance myself from those people, just because of not only their opinions, but I would feel lonely at times, and then I would call, hey, like, let's link up. But I started to realize that it was taking a toll on my mental health.
That's a topic people don't talk about right there
at all.
And
it sucks because it's so personal. Like, it's almost like I had to really look my friends in the eyes and literally be like, yo, I stopped coming up with excuses. I would always come up with excuses like, hey, I can't hang out today, or I can't kick it with y'all this weekend because I'm going through it, or because this happened or this happened. And then I started to realize, like, no, it's not that. It's just their energy fucking me up. And I just ended up being like, you know what? I just can't surround myself around you. You're not going to understand it if I explain it to you, because like you said, like, they're just not, you're trying to explain yourself to someone that does not relate to you. And so I literally distanced myself so much. Like, you see, I'm in the cut. This happened on purpose,
bro. This blew my mind.
I convinced this dude to move out the cut.
Yeah.
He was always trying to stay in downtown and
Cooking in the burbs.
Bro.
I'm in the burbs. You can't
What's
find
crazy?
me. You can't
It's
find
like,
me.
he's in the burbs. I'm like, just.
He's in the burbs.
I'm in the burbs. I'm like, they're still building by me, burbs.
But you got a kid.
Yeah, two.
It's very, you got 2 babies, bro. It's very different.
Okay, so let's touch on fatherhood, and I guess you guys can kind of go back and forth with each other.
How old is your daughter?
Newborn. 3 weeks old tomorrow.
God damn.
You know what's crazy though? Is you're gonna experience something that I haven't experienced yet, and because I've experienced the 1 to 4,
right,
the 2 to 5, but I haven't experienced the bottle. I mean, I experienced the bottle feeding, but not the waking up every 8 or every 2 hours, doing that shit. And so, but I mean, yeah, bro, you can talk about the last 3 weeks, but I can talk about how it's gonna be when they get to how Mila and Ileana are right now.
I'm a student, man. I want to
learn. Constantly learning.
You know, it's crazy, bro. I always looked at fatherhood and I always said, that's something beautiful, but I'm good off of it. My wife and I, there was a long time where we struggled. We literally struggled. Because she was like, yo, I want a kid, I want this, I want that. And for me, I was like, yo, I don't know if I want that inside of my life. And the sole reason was because of the fact that I was nervous what the world was going through. Bringing a child into this world right now is so scary.
It's scary.
It's not, you think about everything that's going on politically, economically, morally, it's just not a place that I thought I wanted to raise a child. When we finally got to that point, mind you, I've been with my wife now for 10 years. I've been married for 3. I was engaged 6 months in. That's how I knew it was real. And I was like, I'm going to marry this girl, no question.
So you guys were basically engaged for like...
Dude, that's my first girlfriend.
Wait,
so hold on, you're saying...
That's
you were engaged
Okay,
for
listen.
6 years?
For 6 years?
6 years.
Wow. Fuck.
So was it just like, okay, you guys are engaged and you just didn't...
Well, originally I wanted to give her the wedding of her dreams. And I was broke, bro.
Financially, you couldn't.
But then when finances came, as a young hustler, you're out there, you're having fun, you're out in the club, you're doing this, you're doing that, and you start having these thoughts where you're like, do I want to be married right now? And the devil starts playing tricks. And then I gave every excuse in the book, but then I had to ask myself, if I lose this woman, what happens then?
Exactly.
So I said, you know what? There's nothing that's holding me back but me.
Listen up.
Mama. So there was something that was holding me back, and it was me. So I decided to go ahead and do it, and then, you know, years later, we came to the point where both of us, at first she wanted kids, then it was a no for me, and then I wanted kids, and it was a no for her, because she was on her entrepreneurial endeavor, and she was doing her thing, and then it came together, and we were like, hey, look, let's do it, and we decided to fly out to the Maldives, and we did it. One take Drake.
Maldives.
One take Drake. I was in there. I pulled out for 10 years, bro. I pulled out for 10 years.
So
I don't encourage to pull out these condoms. But no, man.
I encourage it.
We went ahead and we got boy. You nasty.
No, bro. He said he doesn't encourage, like, don't take the risk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't take the risk.
Just use a condom.
Don't take the risk.
I'm a risk taker.
Fads.
Yeah.
Where's that gotten?
Yeah. Hey.
Yo, go back to like what y'all was saying. I was super interested.
Innocent fads, not so innocent.
So with that being said, you know, we got to a point, we decided to try, and it's said that when you have a boy, it's to teach you to mature, but when you have a girl, it's to teach you to love.
Yeah.
I didn't think I had a problem with loving, bro. I thought I was good. I have so much love to give the world.
Man, we could talk about that.
When that girl showed up, and crazy thing is, my wife almost died during labor.
Wow.
That's crazy.
So as I'm holding my newborn child, I've never experienced life like this. My wife's heart monitor is going doo, doo, doo.
That's crazy.
And I'm sitting there.
I feel like I'm in the room.
Bro, it's one of the scariest moments of my life because God bless, but we had one of our friends who's a labor nurse inside of the room, and I saw her face through her mask. And I see her, she had the look of fear in her eyes. And we later found out she almost lost my wife, and that was only the second time that ever happened in a 6-year career.
Wow.
They can't figure out where the bleeding's coming from. We went into an emergency C-section. And as I'm holding my newborn child, I'm losing my wife to my left. That right there was one of the craziest experiences.
Because as new life is coming in, you think you're losing a life.
I'm losing my woman.
Bro,
I don't know this kid. And you know my wife.
Yeah.
Very well. That's your sister.
Yes.
And I'm looking at her and I'm like, is this how it goes? Like, is this really how it... Am I Kevin Hart inside of that movie that he just did? Like, am I going to raise this baby alone? I'm getting choked up thinking about it. I'm sitting there and I'm like, yo, there's no way that this is my reality. When I brought that baby girl home, I have the heart of gold. I love and I love deeply, bro. I've never experienced a love for somebody I've only known for 3 days the way I experienced with this child. And I think, first of all, we need to talk about a disclaimer. A kid doesn't solve issues in a relationship.
Facts.
Just because you put a baby in the
sometimes
in the
it causes more.
It causes worse, especially if you're not in a place to do this. So we were together for 10 years, married for 3 of them. We anticipated this. 30 years old, I decided to go and have a child, and now I got this baby girl. She's 3 weeks old. I've never experienced a love like this before. For me to be here right now, away from my child.
Oh, we seen the FaceTime right now. He's like, what did you mean?
Bro, you want to turn soft?
No, I
You
feel
want to
that.
turn soft? Have a baby girl, bro.
Yeah.
They would have you the softest thing you've ever felt in your life. Your heart feels.
So you guys are girl dads. singing songs, walking around the hallways. I was like, hey, do you believe in love after love? Like, I'm singing all this shit, bro. I'm just like, I'm being Debbie, and I'm like, oh shit, man. Yo, you can't be doing that net tax walking.
Right. It's crazy because he be on the phone. He be like, listen. What up, my boy?
What up, boy?
I feel that though, because I don't.
Being a girl dad, for sure.
I can't just leave like that either. Like, I like being home.
Bro.
I like them with me. If I'm not home, they're with me everywhere I go.
There's
It's the best
times,
feeling.
there's times where I have to explain to Fads, like Jordan will be like, man, I got the girls, I'm running around, like I'm doing shit, and I have to explain to Fads, like, I don't even know how to say it, but Jordan, he got the girls, bro. Like, he's not doing
Like, what does that mean?
And I'm
Take him
cool
with
with
you.
that.
Yeah, he's like,
Yeah, bro.
bro, bring him. Just put him in the room, watch TV or some shit. Jordan's like, no, bro.
You don't get it, bro. It's a different. Yo, men are either given a boy to mature, or you learn to love with a baby girl. When you learn to love, bro, nothing stops you.
Man,
You know what's crazy? Is to the marriage part. So I got Raylene a promise ring, right? Like a year in. So I got her a promise ring, and
That's sweet, bro.
you see, it's. I moved it. It was on my wedding ring finger.
Why did you do
So
that?
I just talked to her today, and I just asked her, I said, how do you feel about us moving our rings, our promise rings, to our right hand? Because I want, when I do propose, I want it to be, like, I don't want to be like, let me
Move
take
your
that
ring.
off. And I want it to feel special that she has a ring on
Take
that
it.
finger.
So you saying it's about to happen?
No, I'm not saying that it's about to happen, but I'm just saying when it does, because I am marrying her. When it does happen, I don't want to be like, let me take your promise ring off. She can still wear that ring if she wants, but I want to be able to put that ring on her to where she knows, okay, I'm gonna be with this man the rest of my life. I don't want to. I don't.
get it.
I want that when I get down on one knee, I want her to feel even more comfortable, like he's with me
Be in
for
the
the
moment.
rest of my life.
The best moment you can live in. So
Because
it's like,
this is like a promise ring is like, okay,
I'm with
it's cute, I'm with you, but like not everybody looks at a promise ring like,
People break promises.
yeah, he's not gonna be, you know? And so when I gave her the promise ring, I was serious. Like
I gave my ex a promise ring.
a year.
I remember what happened with that.
man.
Fats, you're digging yourself in a hole.
I mean, I'm okay with talking about it. I'm just.
That's
So
I just
okay,
Be, I just be having random remarks.
yeah, I mean,
I just be talking.
so. Wait, so you gave her a promise ring? Were you planning on marrying her? Because you were young.
were you planning on marrying her, or was it, now that you guys aren't together, you can be honest, was it, I'm giving her a promise ring because
You feel that's
I
what
just
you
want to
need
make her
do?
smile, or that I feel like I need to do that, or did you give her a promise ring because you honestly thought that you saw yourself with this woman the rest of your life?
Oh fuck! You gonna make him cry?
No, don't do that. I'm good.
I remember when this
We
happened
were
too.
we were together for 3 years. Okay, it's like 2 years ago. I've been single for 2
Yeah,
years.
you gotta tell us what happened.
Why'd you point at the camera like
Cause
that?
like I'm single. Maybe. Future
Okay.
references.
So,
Wait, what?
Hello?
What did he say?
wait, what did
She
he just
threw
say?
my promise ring over the boat.
CEO, what did he just say? We're not gonna skip over that.
Yo, she threw my promise ring over the boat.
And then
Over
broke
the
your laptop.
boat.
Oh come on, bro, we gotta talk about that on this podcast.
And
Wait,
sold-
hold on.
and sold all your-
And
She
fucked
took-
up your business.
And sold all your streetwear clothes that you had just ordered to the house. Stop! Or gave them to a dude. I forgot about
that part.
What?
Oh my
She gave it to someone
god.
else.
This is see? Okay, this is one thing about me. I don't if somebody's not in the room, I don't like talking about them. You know what I'm saying?
You have respect for him.
Yeah, I definitely have respect. I have respect for her. So like, I'm not gonna talk about somebody that's not in the room that that I got respect for. But it didn't end well. I gave her the promise ring the first year of our relationship, and I truly at the time I was like, you know what? I feel like this is somebody I could see myself with for a long period of time. Okay? Then it got to a point to where it was like I started maturing, I started becoming a better man, I started doing personal development, you know what I'm saying? I started growing, and I felt like she stayed in the same spot while I was growing, and I felt like my mindset was, elevating. I was just going places, and I felt like it was hard for me to be in a relationship at the time. And there was also other personal things going on. But yeah, and then I just don't feel like it was the right timing, and I don't feel like I would do it again.
So do you guys believe in giving, for the young viewers out there, we got 17-year-olds, 18-year-olds, all types of range. Do you guys, if you were a young man like you,
sometimes you give a promise ring to save your relationship.
That's what I'm saying. But
See?
at that age,
So you did.
No,
Did
I
you?
didn't say that. I didn't know. I just said sometimes people do that.
But
I do.
I did it on the first year
Can I
anniversary.
be honest with you? I truly believe that saying when you know, it's
for
real.
a fact,
It's very real, but I also believe test it.
Test it as
ring is
in-
a great way to test it.
That is one thing that I feel, because you could at the moment think like, fuck, I could see myself with her for the rest of my life.
Test it,
Like, I'm
bro.
the type of man that I'm like, I'm not finna waste my time.
Yeah,
Raylene is
facts.
my first girlfriend.
We're
Yes,
too
I
old to do
like, huh?
We're too old to do that.
Yeah, bro, like, I'm not wasting my time. I'm not wasting money. I'm not, like, time is money at the end of the day. And so, I just, I kicked it with Raylene the first day, and I'm gonna tell you, the first week I knew it.
When
And
you
that's
know.
why when me and my brother, it was 2 weeks in us, we moved into our apartment May 1st.
I was hot.
May 18th I moved
Tell my
out.
little brother, man.
May 18th
Like
I moved
that,
out.
You knew.
I was still paying my part
Of
rent.
course, you're good. You know,
But
you're good.
May 18th, I moved out until about October, and then the pandemic hit. She lost her job. She couldn't afford the apartment anymore. So I was like, all right, let's move back. Let's move to my apartment. And she was like, no, the girls, they're gonna, like, your brother, he's single. He's, like,
Makes sense. Though.
and so I was like, no, fuck that. My brother is gonna take in anybody. Like,
That's his
I'm paying
niece.
rent. Like, those are his nieces now. Like, she didn't understand. It took Raylene a few months to understand that I'm taking her serious. Cause she was like, oh, this is his first girlfriend. Like, he's testing the waters. Like, I'm not finna test the water. Like, I'm not gonna break these little girls' hearts. Like, I'm not gonna waste her time.
That's
just like I wouldn't
real,
expect
bro.
her to break my heart.
Bro, I got
Or break-
so much respect for you, bro.
That's
I don't even think you
real,
understand, bro. Like, I've never truly said
There's-
this to you outside of this podcast, but I have so much respect for you.
Thank
There's
you.
not a lot of people that I even know, dudes, obviously, that are stepfathers at such a young age.
Well, when I from an outside perspective, at least, I look at you and what you went through.
Oh yeah, shit.
You have a tattoo on you.
Yeah, facts. That was
You
we
have a
could
tattoo
talk
on
about
you.
that.
And I look at you. I've had conversations with your mom, which you don't know, on FaceTime, and I've met your mom. One of the dopest
She likes Matt
souls.
Rosa.
Yeah, she's super
Wait,
dope.
you met?
Yeah,
FaceTime, remember?
in Cancun.
I was so excited. I was like,
Yeah,
yes,
he was like,
Matt
"Yo, this is
Rosa,
Matt."
Matt
She's like,
Rosa.
hey, sweetie, how are you?
Yeah.
And just seeing your family dynamic and the way you guys rock, and we talked about some of the trials and tribulations with Jers, and
Yeah.
things along those lines. But the way you guys are as a family, like what you guys portray online is not portraying. You guys are real with your family. Like, you guys are a phenomenal family. And
Appreciate that.
the fact that you have gone ahead and you've done that, and you've gone ahead and you've done that, That's not by coincidence, bro.
I think a big part of it is like we come from a split family. We come from me and Justice go away on holidays to go see our biological father and our grandmother. My sister stays back because my sister is our half sister, and it's crazy because like
it's weird as
it's
fuck.
so weird saying
I didn't even know
that.
that.
I
bro.
don't even say that.
So our stepfather,
You have technically a half sister.
Yeah. My dad was murdered at
Fuck.
21 years old.
Sorry
He was
about
gunned
that.
down in New York City.
R.I.P.
And I was supposed to fill his shoes, honestly. Where I was supposed to be at, I was supposed to fill his shoes. And it's crazy. I see my dad in so many different areas, bro. Like, I see my dad and my daughter, which is the trippiest thing, bro. That to me, I'm like,
Yeah.
at what age?
Bro,
How
I was
old
a
were
baby,
you?
one. I was a baby, but I've spent my whole life analyzing pictures and analyzing
Yeah.
videos. I didn't know him.
It all gets stored.
It's just, I make facial remarks that I don't even know that are him, and the things that I do, and I always know that I have an angel on my shoulder. And my mom went out, she got remarried, and that's where she had my brother and my sister. So I was the only bastard child. And
Wait, Amber's not your real sister?
Amber,
Like,
no,
100%?
my sister we came from the same vagina. Just
Different
dicks.
dads.
Just different dicks.
Bro, what?
Yeah, and
You couldn't even say.
and even and for us, you know, I feel so their dad adopted me, but I feel I adopted him. He was always more like a big brother and a friend, and I was always, as I became more successful, taking care of him, and now he has Alzheimer's, which is awful. Like, having a man with Alzheimer's, he doesn't remember anything, how to pay the bills. I've gotten him a house, he's married again, and I'm always taking care of him and making sure that his doctor's appointments are good and all these things, but that's not my dad. And when you talk about a split family like that, that hits home because me and my siblings, it's the three of us. There's nothing that you could ever do to separate us. He's seen us. Like, we're inseparable. Those are my best friends.
And you have a little sister and little brother.
A little sister
as
and a
well.
little brother. My little sister is 20. If I'm 30, she's 27, and my little brother is 19. And they're my best friends in the world. But we have that split relationship as well, because of the fact that we have three families. That's literally what it is.
Yeah.
We have three families.
That's different.
And for us, we're the number one family. And the cool thing is now we set the morals and we set the standards of what they may be cruises and I'm a Rosa, but we know what our family dynamic is, and we have morals, we have ethics, we have ethos, we have standards that we stand by. But it started with us. We had to go and break all three families' traditions to go out there and create our own. And I think that that's what you guys did. I think that you guys went ahead and you created your own lane, and now you set the family standard, so your two daughters are going to grow up in a different way.
We had a quick intermission, but we are back. We were touching on the split families and stuff. One thing I did want to end off with that was, I feel like a lot of people always come to me and they're like it's sometimes hard for me to accept, like, I respect you for that. I respect you for stepping up. Like, you don't understand how much I respect you, and I've heard it a lot. But sometimes I sit there and I'm like, I forget why do you respect me so much? But then I understand, because I respect my stepfather. Because my stepfather is my sister's biological. And I feel like it was so easy for me to, like, do it and just step up and, like, so naturally just, this dude can just, I told him he needs to get that checked. Anyways, I feel like it's so natural. It was so natural to me. Like, I was never like, oh shit, what am I supposed to do? Like, I learned how to be a father, and, like, I want to say, like, it sounds so stupid, but I learned how to be a father in, like, a couple days, bro.
Dude,
The girls, like,
my daughter's only a couple days old. I get it.
yeah. And so it was literally just, and what's crazy is, and it doesn't suck to say this, but it hurts to say this, is I connect with my stepfather more than my biological father. And that's no shade to my biological father, but I do connect with my stepfather more than him, just because I think a lot of it has to do with me and him look at life similar. Everyone looks at us and they're like, you guys are the same fucking person. And we have conversations, like I have conversations with my stepdad all the time. And I don't call him my stepdad. Like I have 2 dads at the end of the day. And so that's one thing I feel like just we come from a family to where we have almost 3 Christmases. We have a Christmas with, or when we were younger, we had a Christmas with my stepdad's family. We had a Christmas with my mom's family. And then we had a Christmas with our biological father's family. And so I think it just feels so natural. And I feel like when the girls get older, I'll get to see what I experienced as a kid. And it's gonna be a different, I'm gonna be able to talk to them. I'm gonna be able to have conversations with them. Like I went through the same shit y'all went through.
Invite me to the next family cookout, because I'm with it, bro.
Yeah.
No cookout.
We don't have no cookouts.
Nah, then we need to start doing it, because y'all's family's special, bro. The things that you guys are going through,
Appreciate
you've been through, that's special, bro. And that's something that I admire, honestly.
I think, you definitely, coming from split family, being a minority, not going to college.
Boricua, baby.
You know what I'm saying? Taking the entrepreneur route. I feel like there's a lot of things up against you that you really have to, you know what I'm saying? It takes a certain individual to be able to create something, like you said, out of nothing. And so I give flowers to anybody that, you know what I'm saying, has gone through that. And even the people that come from something and are still able to create something out of it. No matter where you come from, no matter what background, if you have that will and that power to be able to push through, you know, life, because I feel like a lot of people don't realize that, like, you could have everything planned out, but you can't plan life out. Like, life's path is life's path. That's God. Like, you can't predict anything. And so for those people, I know, even just with losing somebody like you that's lost somebody so close to you, to be able to go through that and push through it and end up being as successful as you are right now, props to you, because
glory to God in the squad, bro.
That's something that's not a lot of people can handle. I can't see the day when I lose someone close to me and be able to keep life going on. But so those people that are able to adapt to that, congratulations, you're doing it. If you haven't been financially successful yet, you're getting through it mentality and you know what I'm saying, everything
Facts.
else. So.
And speaking of losing someone, let's talk about this PNB Rock situation. RIP. It's sad though. It truly is sad, because bro, I grew up, like, freshman year I was bumping this dude. And the main thing is just, I'm a big believer in the wrong place at the wrong time.
It's
with the wrong people.
Exactly.
And do y'all think, you know, I'm just gonna throw it out there. Do y'all think it was his girlfriend's fault?
I saw. Okay, so this is not me agreeing. This is not me agreeing with this opinion or not. But I saw a podcast where I forgot who it was that was saying this, but they said, okay, there's so much blogs. Okay, we out of anybody's family, we've been in drama before, and these titles and these news be switching and flipping titles just to get their views up. They don't give a fuck about how a person in the family is mourning. Mm-hmm. They don't give a fuck about how they're feeling. So the only titles that we see is PNB Rock's girlfriend posted on social media, and they automatically think, okay, it was because of her location. We don't know exactly how long. We don't know if it was 15 minutes after she posted and he got shot. We don't know if it was 30 seconds after she posted and we got shot. We don't even know if the killer saw the post. And so I'm not here to judge a book by its cover and be like, it was her fault. Mm-hmm. But I will say, if it was because of that post, I could not sit here and be like, if I were the one to get hit, I could not sit there and be like, it was your fucking fault, babe. You should not have fucking posted that shit. Because at the end of the day, I would have saw her taking that post. I would have saw her taking that story. And it's on me because I'm the one that's, I'm the one that's known. I'm the one, if I'm in PNB Rock's shoes, I'm the one that's, I'm the one that has the most money. I'm the one that is in the public eye the most. And so I got to explain to my girlfriend, we cannot be doing this. And if you feel like she is not ready for that, don't be moving in public without security or where you think she's going to be posting some stuff like that. And because
the whole no security thing was crazy to me too.
You know, for me,
Like how?
but also, bro, I don't understand. It's such a fucked up world now that you feel like you need, like, everybody
like
expects
that.
you. You have to move with security because you have money. You are a multimillionaire. But do you feel like,
I do rock with security in certain places.
see what I'm saying? It's a fucked up situation to where you
rock.
think that you need security because
I think you kind of do.
Bro, as we're having this combo, it's crazy. To my right, there's a picture of Nipsey.
yeah.
And I'm looking at this picture of Nipsey. And you got to put yourself, there's multiple ways that I see this. You know, I had the opportunity to build a relationship with T. Grizz. This is a friend of mine. We both have the same mentor when it comes to breath work. We've gotten IV therapy together. We've talked business. Phenomenal human being. And he'll kick your ass in Grand Theft Auto.
I was gonna say GTA.
He's an amazing man. And I know the relationship that he had with PNB.
Yeah.
And I see that, and for a moment, you take a step back. When I saw T post about PNB, he's not posting about PNB, he's posting about his brother. And losing people inside of my life, you don't lose somebody that the media sees the way they are. You lost your son, or you lost your brother, or you lost your cousin, or you lost your best friend. And when I look at this whole situation, what I see is that we need to do better. Us collectively as a culture, we need to do better. You know, right now, yeah, he was in the wrong place. He was at Roscoe's, out there having chicken and waffles in the most gully place that you can imagine out in LA, where we know LA is a hot boy central, to the point where we won't even get into the government aspect of LA and what it is that they're doing for criminals and allowing criminals to walk the streets the way they are. But
Yeah.
we'll get into a whole nother conversation in regards to political aspect.
Even Illinois. So.
We can't go there because that's another podcast.
Really.
But what I'm seeing is that as a culture, we need to do better. You look at people like Nipsey. Nipsey was checking on the store. You look at people like PNB, he was having a meal.
Yeah.
You look at people like Smoke, he was sleeping. These are people that were not doing wrong things. These were people that were not out there in the club and they got shot up in the club. These are people that were spending time with their families, building a business, resting. And when you think about that, when it comes down to, I'm willing to take this man's life for jewelry, there's two areas that I think we need to do better in. First and foremost, understanding your environment. I've traveled to third world countries where there's crazy political wars and countries where there is gang violence. I've been to the Democratic Republic of Congo, the second poorest country in the world. And you have to understand your environment. You have to understand where it is that you're at. We need to do better at that. The stunt culture needs to go. You know, as I sit here, I know I'm comfortable inside of a home with a gold chain on my neck, but if I step into a certain arena, I know that I can't have that.
Yeah.
And I need to understand my audience, and I need to understand where it is that I'm at. The second thing we need to do better at, these are people's lives. And there's a lot of younger individuals that are willing to take that life because of street credit or gang credit. I understand because I come from a background where that's where you got it. That's where you got your credit. Oh, I took out PNB. But who are you now in jail?
Yeah.
You sat there, you filled out an application for a 1-1 10 by 10 unit. That's what you just did. And you're going to spend the rest of your life.
And you got accepted.
And that's what you did. Where do we find fulfillment inside of taking another man's life? where do we find fulfillment in taking a father's life? His kids will never see him again.
He has a daughter, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Does he have multiple kids?
He has. I know he has a daughter.
He has a daughter.
Yeah.
But that daughter's never gonna see him again. That his girl, whether it was his wife or his girlfriend, she's never gonna see him again. His mom is never gonna see him again. If you're watching this right now and you rep a certain flag, I know people that rep flags that are OGs and they're not about that.
Yeah.
They're not here to take somebody else's life.
I feel like, yeah, it's.
They don't want that, bro. You talk to the OGs. The OGs are about bringing up our community.
Because there's old school, is the old school gang street cred
Man.
is a lot different than
The news.
these new hot hit. Bro, I just saw, I forgot what city it was in, but I just saw this dude on Facebook Live.
Get
went on
shot at.
No, not get shot at. He went on Facebook Live and was like, I'm really about this hood shit.
Kansas
I'm really
City?
about this shit. Maybe it was Kansas City.
Yeah.
Memphis. It was Memphis. I'm really about this hood shit. You think I won't do this? I'm really him. Walked straight up in a AutoZone, flipped the camera, cocked his gun, and started shooting at this dude. And just ran out. And was like, I'm really him. I'm really about that. Like,
The whole time on live, yeah.
What are you about at that point?
About being a dumbass.
It's yeah. Like you said, he got caught and he filled out
an application for a 10x10. That is your
I'm gonna
life.
start saying that. I like
You
that.
filled out an application for a 10x10.
Yeah.
That is your whole life. What did you do that for? And now there's a family that will never see their other. That to me, man, you look at things like that. Like I said, my dad was killed. He was gunned down. He had pressure. Was he an angel? No. His nickname was Trouble. Cops knew him as Trouble. He didn't deserve to die for the things that he did. For me, you leave that to God. You want to whoop somebody's ass? Step into the... You want to take P&B's chain? Yo, tell him, step outside. Let's run this. Like a fucking man. And you do it like a man. I love fighting. We're going to talk about fighting in a bit. I love to fight. That's one thing about me. If you're on this, don't try me. I'm not looking for problems. I enjoy training. I enjoy getting into the ring. Me and Fads have put on boxing gloves multiple times. This is what I enjoy doing. Be a man and go take it. You want that? You don't want to earn it as a man? You don't want to go out there and make the money that it takes to get the jewelry? You don't want to go out there and sacrifice your entire life in order to get the trophies? Because that's what this is. This is a trophy.
Yeah.
And this is, I did what I had to do, and I did so the right way, and I did so legally, and this is on my neck as a trophy. If you want to come and take my trophy, see me as a man the same way I came in and I went ahead and I got this as a man. You don't go there and take somebody's life for something you didn't earn. You're a coward.
I like that.
And you know what's crazy? Is they literally just said that, actually they didn't find it. I just saw that local police was in contact with like all the pawn shops around because they're all working together to
That's
see.
disgusting.
Because that's what usually happens.
Where are you going to sell that?
Yeah.
You got to listen. They're stupid enough to go in there and ruin their life.
For a 10x10.
For a 10x10. They're stupid enough to go into a fucking pawn shop and try and pawn off a dude's jewelry with his name on it that's now deceased. You see what I'm saying?
Hey, man, one thing about me, I'm a Christian, man. I pray for them. But more than anything, I pray for P&B's family, man.
Most definitely.
Man, I think it's crazy that you guys are talking about that too, because I feel like nowadays, because of social media and, you know, you got these artists that are rapping about blah, blah, and it like, some of them are really living that life, but a lot of them are speaking for the people that are living that life or claim to be living that life or are trying to prove themselves, like you said, for the street cred. But even myself, like I feel like for a second there, and you had a lot more of like your head on your shoulder. How you say it?
Head on your shoulders.
Head on your shoulders, right? Rather than myself, but we were still kind of in that realm of things where we felt like we had to walk around. I
look at y'all too, and this is my baby brother Fads. That's my baby brother, bro. That's literally my family. I'm on Fad's head more than anybody. I promise you, because I know the shit that his parents don't know. I see the shit that Fad's family don't see. So as a big brother, I feel the necessity to be out there and tell them like, yo, I lived that, I did that. Don't do that anymore. And I look at the way you guys were living. Now the way you're living is a blessing. I see the way it is that you guys are living. I thank God that you guys have this head on your shoulders right now. But I saw the way you guys are moving for a bit, and that's a scary thought. When you have to step in somewhere and you have to think about who has my back.
Yeah.
You in the wrong place.
Or did I bring my gun in? Or did I do this?
Do I have security? You in the wrong place.
Yeah, facts.
I know for a fact when I step in somewhere that I'm not supposed to be, because off rip my energy is different. I'm looking over my shoulder. I'm
uncomfortable.
Yeah, I'm different. Like, who's with me? This is that. If I have to think these thoughts, why am I here?
That's why I don't go to the club anymore. Honestly,
I know, bro.
And that's why I hate like.
I thought you were gonna say I don't go to the club. I was like,
Nah,
you liar.
Still go.
But
I
yeah,
don't.
But
ba-
no,
I don't go out.
What I was gonna say is what I hate is, you know, we work so hard for certain things, whether it's a watch, a chain. It could be, you know, it could be anything.
But we do it legally and we work hard, bro.
Exactly. And people feel the need they can just take your trophy or take
your life for your trophy.
Exactly. And I'm just like, man, like you don't know the blood, sweat, and tears that I had to go through in order to be in the position that I am right now. You understand what I'm saying? And you just feel like you can have instant gratification just by, you know what, let me go. I don't want to go and work and do everything that he did because I want to just go take it from him. You know, and then I can have the same things he has as long as I just take it from him or take it off his dead body or something like that. And I feel like that's just messed up nowadays.
Bro, I go and I want to, I know I'm not the host of this, but I want to segue for a second because we talking about like, yo, if I'm coming in and I want to see this man's jewelry, I'm going to fight him. That's my mentality. Like, yo, we are men. Mm-hmm. We are men. We have that Neanderthal mentality. Go out there and fight. You want to fight, but fight to live another day. If you win and that's your trophy, then you won. You feel me?
Yeah.
You shot the fade and it is what it is. It was a fair fade. I don't condone that, but it is what it is. At least you did it the right way. You didn't try to take this man's life. Mm-hmm. But when we talk about fighting real quick, we're talking about a realm right now where, especially with you guys being influencers, everybody's turning into a fighter. Everybody. And I honestly, I vibe with it. I'm a huge UFC fan. I train myself. Fads has run with me inside of the gym before. I love this, bro. Like, I enjoy the sport more than anything. I think it's an amazing workout. It's phenomenal. I'm loving the fact that so many different influencers are like, yo,
shoot it.
Let's run it, bro.
It's almost more interesting than the professionals.
Because that's expected. But when you have a dude that's like, all right, cool, we talking crap on, and they're not always great fights by any means, but I think people, and I gotta say this, and I gotta say it on YouTube, this is gonna get tens of thousands of followers. The Paul brothers, they're bullying the scene right now. Mm-hmm. I'm not fans of their fighting by any means. I'm not fans of, but they just called out Nate Diaz.
I don't know.
Like,
bro,
Jake Paul just called. He said, yeah, now that he has no contract, I can see what's going on.
Bro, that fight's not happening anymore?
No.
With Silva?
No. Jake Paul's doing Silva, but he called out Diaz.
Bro, but
for the next fight.
I don't know for when, but he had mentioned it. And I'm looking at that and I'm like, yo, the Paul brothers, the YouTubers.
Is that the fast young kid that's like
Nate Diaz? Nate Diaz is the MMA fighter that you guys were just watching. It was the same night as the Austin McBroom fight. Anthony put it on.
Yeah. Nate, throw it down,
crazy motherfucker, bro.
Throw it down, Nate. Stop and slap Nate, bro.
Hey, but we can't take away from Jake, though. We can't take away from Jake because, you know, bro, he's been
I will
practicing.
say it takes.
But he's out there practicing. But on the same breath, I'm gonna say this: he's calling out people that really will put the hands, but he's only fighting older men.
But bro, he's not a boxer that came up and was like, oh, like I'm 15 and all. He came into the scene and was like, you know what? I understand I can't fucking fight a Floyd Mayweather and win. I'm still calling him out, even though Floyd's probably not gonna fight him. But he understands
and
that
Floyd fought his brother.
And so Logan Paul didn't hold his end.
No, absolutely
but
not.
You gotta
I was at
also
that fight.
understand.
I was there.
You gotta also understand.
You were there?
Yeah, bro.
Listen,
bro, he didn't get knocked out.
That was rigged.
He didn't get knocked out, but he also outweighed him by like fucking 30 pounds.
That's what I'm saying. Listen, you gotta also understand when Jake Paul is calling out these people, right? Anderson Silva, he's calling out an MMA fighter to come over into the boxing world, and by any means, boxing is a lot different than MMA. Anybody
100%.
that disagrees,
Look what happened
say
with
it now,
McGregor
but-
and Mayweather, bro.
you see what I'm saying? So listen, they have
Silva
different
is a boxer,
stances.
though, too.
Now he's done a few fights,
but
bro.
Silva,
He's an
Silva,
amateur
He's a
boxer.
Brazilian jiu-jitsu artist is what he is.
the reason why Anderson Silva became Anderson Silva was in the MMA octagon ring, not in the boxing ring.
Facts.
So what I'm saying is, Jake Paul, cool. He's calling out Anderson Silva. Anderson Silva is not only an MMA fighter,
But
he's
also double his age.
Double his age. Now he's calling out Nate Diaz. He's a little younger, but he's also an MMA fighter. That's like me saying, hey, what's a sport that's similar? Okay, football.
What's the dude,
okay, so
what's
say
the dude with the body hits? The young dude,
Ryan
Garcia.
Ryan Garcia.
Why doesn't he call somebody out?
See
like
what
that?
I'm saying?
Obviously, weight classes are different. but he
Because
won't call somebody
they're
out.
businessmen at
He
the end of the
won't
day.
call up
But
a tank.
say I'm a star rugby player. You're a star football player. I'm gonna whoop your ass on the rugby field, but I'm not gonna go to the football field because they're different at the end of the day.
He understands. Okay, Jake understands that. Okay, bro, if I call out a boxer, he's gonna get his ass whooped, and then his career kind of ends of undefeated. This. So the next fight is not gonna get as many views or as much money. But if you call out Nate Diaz or Anderson Silva and then you win, people are like, "Damn, bro, he's actually fighting. He's actually winning." I understand he's not fighting no
Look,
boxers,
his last fight.
but he was one of the top athletes that were paid last year.
His last fight. To see what he did to Woodley. Now, mind you, Woodley is an MMA fighter. The way you said, he's only fighting these types of people. He won't fight people inside of his demographic. But that last fight, bro, was fundamental boxing. And that's why I'm like, I have a love-hate relationship with these dudes. Because that last fight was a gorgeous knockout.
It's good.
Bro, he sat there, pivot, bing. Fundamental boxing, bro. He head to the pavement.
Who was this?
He fought Tyrone Woodley.
Who did? Oh, Jake.
And
Yeah.
it was a beautiful
That was a
knockout.
hard ass knockout.
Bro, that shit was fundamental. Whoom, whoom.
It's just
Rocked
like-
them, and then they showed, what I liked was they showed his training, right? And when they showed his training, he practiced that same hit. And it was like, oh, he went ahead and he executed. I think these dudes have a beautiful future. They're just marketing geniuses.
They are businessmen at the
and they
end
have
of the
a
day.
team.
And they know
Gotta have a team.
they have someone behind them that's saying, bro, there's a lot of, I guarantee there's a lot of boxers out there that they're like, come on, Jake Paul, come on. Before they announce it in social media. But Jake Paul is not
Jake Paul's
entertaining
called
it. He's entertaining.
You know who called out Jake Paul?
Who?
I think, yeah, it was Jake. Andrew Tate.
Andrew Tate. I seen that.
Andrew Tate.
No,
posted
he
a
called
video.
out Logan.
He called out one of the Paul brothers.
You think Andrew
Logan
Tate can fight?
in the
Oh, Andrew Tate's a world
Bro, he's a boxer.
a world-renowned
kickboxer.
Ooh.
a champion. Not just him and his brother are champions.
Mm-hmm.
They know how to fight.
That's
Now,
how they kinda
Do I
got
know?
there.
Do I think they know how to fight still? I don't know. I think he would fuck any of us up inside of this room.
Bro.
But I don't know if
Anybody that's training, bro.
Yeah.
I actually just got asked to train. I was supposed to go train this morning with
Yeah.
Checo. He's like one of like the
the
known
little
fighters out. He's
bullies?
like he's on the come up. Like his past 3-4 fights have been knockouts.
Well,
like,
he wanted to use you as a sparring dummy?
no, but the guy that runs Iron Boy
Uh-huh.
is also like on his promotional team, and he wanted me to come and train with Checo.
That's crazy. I was actually just telling Sully's I low-key think I want to start training. Not to fucking call. I mean, when I get to that point, I will call out whoever. I don't give a fuck. But I
It's
just
one
want
of
to
the-
train. I want to.
Dude, it's one of the best
fun.
forms.
It's a
of-
great workout.
Me and Fads will throw on gloves
Man.
and just
I
go
got
at
gloves in the garage right
it.
now.
We can throw them on. we'll just go at it. And Fads knows. Shout out to Charlie Decca. If you don't know who Charlie Decca is and you're watching this, Charlie Decca, I promise you, is a UFC champion. Mark my words. I'm calling it from right now. Dude just did 3 months training out in Thailand, living in the mud in order to practice that skill. He's an understudy of Jorge Masvidal, which is also shout out to Jorge Masvidal, the homie, bro, my brother. He's an understudy of Jorge Masvidal. We already know Jorge Masvidal, the BMF champion, an absolute monster. So this dude, Charlie, I built a relationship with him. We had a great time. First time I ever met Charlie, he got knocked out actually in a bare knuckle fight. His fucking face got cracked, and we were on the same. Like we took a PJ back. He was with us. His shit was wrecked, but he won the fight. Like he didn't get knocked out. He got cracked. His entire orbital got wrecked from a former UFC fighter. He took him down, choked him out. After that, it was pretty badass.
That's crazy.
But him and I built a relationship, and he started coming to the crib, and he started training me. You know what's crazy, bro? I only got a month and a half of training with him. One-on-one. I've done, shout out to Goat Shed as well. Goat Shed, my home gym out in Miami, which breeds Neanderthals. Just absolute killers, bro.
Neanderthals.
They're fucking ridiculous, bro. Like,
What are those?
Some of the best come out of that gym. It's insane. But him and I started training out in Miami inside of my garage, and we started rocking and rolling, and then he went to Thailand. And you know Karate Kid where he says wax on, wax off?
Yeah.
He's teaching him one hit. It's the block. It's the wax on, wax off. And that's why he teaches him that. So he practices that same move over and over again. Charlie left me with 2 combos. Those 2 combos now are insanely lethal. The exact same combo. He left me to train the same combo for 3 or 4 months in a row. And this dude, and bro, fighting, it's crazy, bro. Fighting is mastering the basics. All the flashy shit and everything else is mastering the basics. You can knock somebody out with a jab.
Yeah.
You can knock somebody out with a hook. Like, it's just the basics going over and over again. So when you talk about when I get there, bro, you're not far from getting there. You just gotta, just like everything you do in your life.
Yeah.
Everything you've excelled in, you just gotta master the basics. That's what me and Faz have done in business.
Miyagi.
Yeah, wax on, wax off.
I went 5-minute rounds with.
Fads always taps for what it's worth.
With
Fads always.
That sounds
you
so
want to be.
wrong.
You want to be on. You want to be on his head. USA. You wanted to be on his head.
Wait, hold
Taps.
on.
Listen. I had video.
Listen.
Of me grabbing him. I had video footage of me grabbing him, and when I grabbed him, he screamed.
No.
I had video
Absolutely
footage.
not.
I think we want to see that.
In my defense, my stamina is not up to par with his stamina. Okay, I can run a mile. That's it. This motherfucker will run 8 miles straight. Okay,
That's
but listen,
ridiculous.
I'm not done.
You gotta last longer, bro.
I'm a soccer player, so I know all about that.
The thing is, bro, is first round we was fighting 5 minutes. I did great.
You did decent.
Second round came. You know, started the round. You know, boom, boom, boom. I'm going, and it ended the round. I'm like, damn, bro, this is.
You start feeling it.
You start.
That's how people get knocked out when you start.
Bro, don't let me talk about the
But that's why.
third round came around, and I'm like, fuck. I'm like, bro. I'm like 5-minute rounds, bro. I'm like, bro, like, I'm not even conditioned to do this right now.
Bro, by the 3rd round, his hands were down. He's just.
And I'm eating hits, bro. I'm like, I'm telling you. But the thing was, I got him in the first round. You know what I'm saying?
You got what?
I got you.
Like he won the first round.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Absolutely.
You won what?
I mean what I mean.
You won what?
I for some reason I was about to be Dom Toretto inside Fast and the Furious. You never had your car.
No. I won the first round.
That's one thing that I
But
can
he came
say.
back.
I'm proud to say, bro, is like, okay, I'm not here saying.
Don't say it, Reese.
No, I'm not here
Don't
saying
put it on
test me.
public.
Don't test me because I'm not looking for a fight
You gonna
anywhere.
say you never lost a fight?
No, I'm not saying that.
Okay.
I've only
lost
been
most of them.
No, but when it comes down to me like fucking around with my homies or with Justice, you're gonna have to knock me out. I swear to God,
This
I
motherfucker
will.
right here, bro.
Yeah.
He doesn't stop.
It's
bro.
that fight. You're gonna have to knock me out. Like, there's been a point where my homie has got me in a headlock, right? Pablo. We would always fight. Pablo would he got me in a headlock one time. He swore to God that
You were gonna tap?
no, he was telling me to tap. And I was like, no. Like, bro, I was literally like veins popping out of my forehead, choking me, bro. I was literally about to go out.
How'd you get out?
he stopped because he didn't want to knock me out.
I thought there was gonna be some triumphant
But
comeback.
I'm not.
motherfucker.
Do I tap?
No, there's been times where I get frustrated because he will literally pass out, and I'm like, I have to stop, and I'm like, bro, why the fuck you make me do that shit? Like, I'm really gonna make you pass out, and then I'm in trouble. So,
Bro, I've had fads. I've literally had fads in the crib, and I have him in the armbar. He's like, please.
Bro, see, he making me sound so bad on this podcast.
Okay.
innocent
But we be
fads.
going at it. But the thing is, bro, I told you, I just don't last that long. Only in fighting.
Okay.
But
Hey, let's clarify. Fads is not a soft ass individual.
Yeah.
Just he needs to knock you out in the first round, Rose. Okay, listen. So I was thinking about something on the way over here. For our future episodes, I want to start doing like each of us for one episode, one of us will be in charge of a fun fact. A fun fact that we like have never like nobody knows.
About
right?
us?
Do you have
or-
one for
No,
today?
not about us. I have one for today because it doesn't need to be a topic, but it can just be
Like a Snapple fact.
yeah, just a Snapple fact.
Snapple fact.
Cam Newton, okay, rookie year. Was he on the Panthers rookie year? Okay, yeah, rookie year. He was offered a $22 million deal. Think about it. Coming out of college, $22 million. Not to mention, college is offering high school players money now.
Which is
Like
sick.
this Tennessee,
I
this
love it.
quarterback from high
8
school
million,
just got
7
offered $8 million from
Oh my
Tennessee.
God.
Yeah, but
damn.
Cam Newton, he was in a interview, and they asked him, "What's one of your favorite parts of your rookie year?" He said, "I signed a $22 million deal. Every Tuesday was my favorite day." They were like, "Why?" And he said, "Because it didn't matter if I threw an interception, a fumble, if I didn't play that game. Every Tuesday, I was receiving a $732,000 check to my
God.
bank account."
Damn.
And that, bro, $2.8 million a month. Yeah. And it's not always about money, but that's a fun fact because that's probably something you didn't know
That's a
or
lot
you
of
didn't
money.
know.
I know athletes get
And
paid
that's not even the
buku
biggest
money.
deals. Think about LeBron. How much
You
he's
gotta
getting a
think,
week.
well, you got to think about all the endorsements and stuff they have as
Oh,
well.
yeah.
So what's the? That's a good fact. Good, interesting.
Good fact.
What was the Island Boys you were talking about to end off the podcast? I think this could be the last topic.
Oh, the impulsive.
Oh, dude. So I'm from Miami. Originally from Brooklyn, but I live in Miami. And out of nowhere, and it's crazy that we're giving them life again because I feel like they've been dying out a little bit. But Island Boys surfaced, and at first everyone was like, "Wait, you're talking about Island Boy? Like I'm an Island Boy." All of us know the song, and it lived in our heads rent free. But the crazy thing was they live in a peninsula, Florida. So the whole time I was like, "You live in a peninsula?" I found out they were
what's that?
Cuban. Peninsula is where it's covered in 3 areas of water, not 4. If it has 4, it's an island.
Okay.
360. If it's a peninsula, just these 3. Florida.
Yeah.
And I found out they're Cuban, so it makes sense. I'm an island boy. Cool.
Yeah.
But it's funny. I brought this up right before we got on the podcast because I was watching a replay of the Impulsive podcast with Logan, and he had the Island Boys on. And they were talking, like, obviously they're one-hit wonders. It is what it is. Like, but if you take your money and you invest it the right way, you're not going to be a one-hit wonder. You're going to be long-lasting. And I think that, you know, if you take, all right, cool, people make you as a joke, but you take that money and you flip it, you can't call me a joke no more.
Yeah.
Like, I really did what I had to do with this bread, and I made myself. And one of the guys, George, on the, I believe his name is George, Georgie or something like that, on the Impulsive podcast, he was like, "Oh, well, you know, if anything ever happens," he's giving them sound advice. Like, yo, at least all the jewelry that you guys have, you can flip it and put it into a really good
Talking
investment.
to them seriously.
Yeah. He was giving them love. Like, it wasn't even on some, like, flame this dude. This dude was excited to have them on the podcast, bro. Yeah. And he tells me, he's like, yo, if anything happens, you know, you could take this, put it into sound investments and do this. And one of the Island Boys, I don't remember which dude it was. I don't even know their names. But he's like, "I don't need to take advice from somebody when I make more money than you." And I was like, oh shit. And I'm here as watching the thing, and I'm like, oh shit just got spicy. I'm putting my daughter to sleep, and I'm like, oh, it's about to pop off.
I want to watch this now.
It's good.
No, it's crazy.
It's actually good.
Oh, so you know what he's about to say.
And then Georgie's holding his ground, and homie's like, oh, I don't need to take advice from you if you don't make more money than me, And he's like, bro, what's your problem? Like, I'm just putting you on game. Like, it's not even like that.
He's saying, God forbid it happens.
Yeah, like.
But if it does, you have
you're blessed
assets
to be able to invest.
If anything happens, you can turn around and sell the jewelry that you just bought, and you can invest it. Like, you're not gonna just go dead broke.
Yeah,
let me guess.
You got something. They just went crazy, and they were like, yo, don't go there. It's not gonna go in your favor. And he's like, I bet it will. Like, what are y'all gonna do? Y'all are like, what are you gonna do? And then they start getting spicy, and they're like, yo, I'll drop this shit right now. I'll walk out. And he's like, let me move the table for you. If you want to leave,
and he moved,
leave.
like, he was literally, like, moved out the way. He was like,
go ahead.
His mic, and he was like,
go ahead.
And they legit just left.
They got up, but the crazy thing was they turned back after they got their security. And I've seen the security from Miami. I've seen them before. They're real deal security.
Yeah.
But after they got their security, they started clapping back, and they're like, oh, well, you know, if you really want this is that, da, 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 da. This is what goes back to the Paul brothers. Bro, Logan is a big boy. That ain't a little dude, bro. That's a grown
for sure. He's like
ass
6'3".
man that is swole as shit and has worked on his craft and fought Mayweather.
Yeah.
Like, this man is not a pussy, bro.
Yeah.
And what I loved about Logan was he sat there and allowed the jokes, and he was like, ha ha ha, it's cool. And then it started getting serious. He pulled security, and he stood up. He said, it's done. Bro, like this. It's done. It's done. You're done here. Go.
He was like, get the fuck out of here.
The moment they got that, they went from to, all right, cool, no problem. And then Logan turned around, classy as fuck, turned around, he was like, you were great. Thank you, but it's done. Go. Sat back down, and everyone was mad shook. But it was like, my dog got my back, bro. This is a big motherfucker that has my back and is ready to fight for me. It was an interesting situation.
He let them kind of argue for a minute, and then he was just like,
for the
okay,
views.
well, we're rolling. Like, you're wasting my money at this time.
Yeah, like, I'm gonna
so he just stood up
views
and
on the podcast.
like,
he was like, you're done.
It's
Island
over.
Boys, bye-bye.
Like, super calm, just, it's over.
That's crazy.
Phenomenal to see.
It's so crazy how they're still like, bro,
They're not popping no more.
No, they're not.
They're not.
They're
No.
slow.
Yeah,
Why are they on the podcast?
They're on their decline. They might have paid to get on.
honest.
Honestly, you don't know.
They're still gonna get booked. they're still receiving money.
I just don't
But
understand it.
they're just like, they took a route where it was like, okay, it's not gonna go for so long.
Yeah. I think this is a great podcast. I think we talked about so much different things. I think we talked about pop culture, motivational, mental health, life differences, and so many different things. So if you guys took anything from this podcast, don't forget to go ahead, comment down below. Let us know what you guys think, what you like, what you didn't like.
And don't forget to go and follow Matt, because
Thank you.
I've peeped his page, and it's endless game. It's endless. You're learning. Like, his Instagram is not only a place to show his achievements or his family, but he does have some great visuals on there with captions on there, so you get to see
Still
exactly
some
what he's saying.
It's Matt Rosa, and I use my Instagram for straight value. And honestly, guys, thank you for having me here. Thank you for letting me vibe with you guys.
It was an honor having you as our first guest.
Yeah.
First guest.
First guest
Thank you.
On the Talk That Talk podcast.
Thank you.
Your history. You're the first guest on a multi-million-dollar business.
Let's go.
When we first started this thing, I told you our goals are still our goals, man. We got big goals for this thing. I'm talking about A-list celebrities. We're going to go crazy with this podcast.
Any way I can help, I'm here.
And for you to be the first guest, we're gonna get you a plaque. Not now, but I'm saying.
Remember, you said that though, Fads. You make a lot of empty promises. I better get a plaque to my home.
We're gonna get you a plaque. Not now.
On my second time here?
No. When we receive our plaque,
When we receive our plaque.
we will order you a plaque.
On my second time here. Am I welcome back?
Yeah.
But
no,
I'm pretty sure you can
shoot our second time in Miami on a yacht.
Oh,
That's
my
my
city.
crazy.
that would be crazy.
That's my
Or
city.
it's gonna be crazy.
I would
not
love to show you guys around. That's my city.
Well,
Yeah! Thank you guys for coming on another Talk That Talk podcast, episode 6. We are out this thing, and we are ending off with a banger.
Bulletproof.
Let's get it.
Shout out my girlfriend, Sally. I know she's back there, jamming.
Yeah.
That turn around.